Welcome to another episode of Gaming and Performance. I am your host and I am back with another video. This time I'm going to discuss with you how to get consistent laps using this tweak for ApplicationPreLaunch. Let us begin. Back in the day, it was always advised you to disable prefetching on Windows, back in Windows 7, early Windows 10. In hindsight, which is always 2020. Those processors back then were a lot slower than they are now. Intel 6000 series, 7000 series, etc. However, processors are pretty fast and pretty efficient nowadays. So you can now re-enable this. Now, for me, it's called SysMain. You want to set it back to automatic and have it running. Restart the PC. You want to go into PowerShell with admin, and you want to type in Get-MMAgent, and you want to find out if all of this is true. Now, page combining is still false for me. For some of you, it may be true for you. That's fine, but it was always false for me. So whether I disable this or not, because I went in here a long time ago and I set this to disable. You want to now set it to enable, and you do so by, and I'm going to hit myself here, but you want to set it to enable by typing this: enable-mmagent -MC, and that will enable it. And or you come here to services and go to SysMain, and you set the start type to automatic and hit OK and reboot the PC. These two should do the same thing. Come to find out that doing this now, with the way processors have evolved throughout the years, is more of a benefit than a hindrance than it was back then. Now, applications like games start up faster, and when you exit out of them, they exit a lot faster. And there is slightly performance gains in some games, but what I noticed the most is in a game called ApplicationPreLaunch. I would always have problems playing the game. Now, I like the game. I'm an avid player. I'm not a pro player, but an avid player. And I would always have inconsistencies getting around laps, especially corners. Certain corners like S corners, chicanes, more complex corners where you have to double corner, like a C shape. I was always having problems, and I would use the indicator to show me on the road when it was time to slow down, because that green indicator would turn yellow and red. When it's red, you got to really slow down. There would be times where I would go around these corners and it would be red and I wouldn't need to slow down. I had no need to slow down at all. It would be no problem. And then other times it would be green and I would still have to slow down even more than I need to get around the corner, or else I would understeer or oversteer. It would be all over the place. Come to find out, it was because I had disabled the MMAgent, and doing so for some reason caused issues in that game. Once I re-enabled it, I was now getting consistent laps, always being able to hit the corner at the same time and getting the same exact result. So if this is what you're looking for, and you've been having trouble hitting the same corner the same kind of way and getting the same result, I would encourage you to enable MMAgent and then set what's called the MaxOperationAPIFiles to 512 from 256. 256 might be good for you. It depends. Just try it first. I tried 256. I noticed a big difference, but I went to 512 right here. This is the command for that. I went to 512 and I saw just a smidgen more difference. So I left it at 512. But 256 for most of you might be enough. I would suggest you do that. Make sure that once you do have to restart the PC. Go ahead and play the games that you want to play, and you should start seeing better performance results. I know for a fact that in Latency mod, I now get better performance out of my latency. I notice my latency is a lot lower. I'll just do an example while I'm here. What happens here? So you can see that while recording, I'm getting let's take a look here. It's just below 100, and I'm still recording. Doing this live, it's over 100 now, 105. That's extremely low. When I recorded before, it was much higher than this. This dropped it substantially for me. This is great. I'm perfectly fine with this. I'm not looking for the routine execution time to be just 20 and something like that. I don't want it that low. In my opinion, I don't really notice anything that low. For what I'm seeing right now while recording, this is great. This is great. I'm leaving on for almost a minute now. You can see it 125, about a minute. Just recording. I'll stop it right here at 58, almost a minute. But this gives you an example of what to expect. I hope it helps you, because I know it helped me. Big time. While recording, it would jump all over the place. Sometimes it would be 200, 300. I don't think that was that high. Maybe, roughly around almost 200. Depends on, what I was doing or what's happening in the background. Just a quick edit here. This is what it's like at desktop without the software running that I'm using to record. The software that I'm using is a bit resource heavy, but this allowed me to be a lot more consistent in the game, allowed me to be a lot more consistent playing other games. I feel like my latency is a lot better. I don't feel like I have to enable graphics driver latency applications to get lower latency. Now that everything just plays better. So I do thank you for your time. Have a nice day.